This IIT Kanpur, they have a great humanities program. Apply for it. I applied, I got called for the interview, I got accepted, and I had a 2-year-old daughter. And I was like, how is this going to happen? In addition to my role of investing into early stage startups, I do head our family office's investment strategy, which involves investing into the listed space as well as fixed incomes and all the other asset classes, right? At least a couple of years back, women would be, if there was a male and a female founder, the male always took up the finances bit, answering about the money and everything.
Thanks a lot, Aarti, for doing this with us. Very excited to have you in the house. And you're one of our first women who is from a family office on the show. And very excited to know about the concept of family offices for our audience and how investments happen from there. So, thanks again, and lovely to host you today.
Thank you, Radhika. Lovely to be here, and thank you so much. What a privilege to be the first. I hope I'm not the last, and there are many more to follow.
Yes, we do hope for the same. But starting off with your childhood, tell us about how it was, and what did you aspire to be as a child?
I don't think I really wanted, I had a dream ambition, but I knew I wanted to do something where I impact the lives of people. I went about to go and study economics in Boston. And my father is an entrepreneur himself. So I knew that I had to be somewhere related to the entrepreneurial journey. I've seen him start and toil from literally like one-room house and starting his factory himself to building a business empire for himself, and seeing all the hard work which goes behind it. I used to sit in his office and do all the accounting bit and everything. So I knew I wanted to be related to business and entrepreneurial journey. What I wanted to do exactly, I didn't know, like, you know, till I kind of figured out, got into college, loved economics, wanted to be associated with policy.
How did you decide the university that you would want to go to in abroad? Because people have these dream institutions, you know, that they want to go to.
It did not happen with me like that. Like, you know, like I was one of the first children from the family to go to the US to study. I have 2 younger brothers, and it actually, I went for a summer school and I just told my dad, I'm going to stay back here, Dad. So in 2 months, fortunately with my grades and everything, Northeastern, I went and met them and I said, enroll me right now. And like, you know, I got the admission and I love the university. I love their co-op program. And while I was doing my master's at Northeastern, I got this opportunity of pursuing a postgraduate diploma with Harvard.
How did that happen?
I found it, I applied. And that's it. Like I think most things in my life have worked out like that. I'm more of a person who kind of sees an opportunity and I apply for it. Like, you know, we'll see where it takes you. So I learned a lot, because in my undergraduate and my postgraduate, I studied economics, which is largely theory based. But it was this diploma in business studies which gave me access to negotiations, which gave me access to finance courses, you know, all of this I got exposure over here.
Got it. And did you do any internships while you
I did with Staples. Yeah, the stationery company. Loved it. You know, we had, in addition to everything else I learned, there was a table where they would keep free supplies of stationery, you know. So loved that. That was a good experience as well.
Tell me, after you moved to Kanpur, how was the first year like for you?
Very good. I love the city. I mean, I know people expect a different answer. I think it is an extremely warm city. It is one giant family. I inherited a set of friends, like, because, you know, in Kanpur, you have generations of friendship. Like, you know, the grandparents are friends, the parents are friends, the children are friends. So like it's generational friendship. So it's such a close-knit family feeling in the city. And everybody's been quite supportive, like, you know, and obviously there are little things here and there, you know, you might not have, we didn't have a Starbucks for the longest time or something like that, but they're so, I think in the larger scheme of things, they're so trivial.
Yeah.
Like, and we end up putting emphasis on it, on these small things, that we lose out to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I think this is the place where I found my calling, because probably, it was a place which did not have that kind of startup ecosystem or a larger investor base, that I found value, where I could put in value add, right? Like, so
that's how the idea of setting up investment arm came about?
Not particularly with Kanpur, but I was actually wanted, when I had my daughter, when she was 2 years old, I wanted to continue pursuing my dreams of PhD.
Yeah.
And it was my husband, actually, Rahul, who encouraged me. Like, he's like, this IIT Kanpur, they have a great humanities program, apply for it. I'm like, who's going to take me in IIT? I'm not like IIT material, So, and that's why I have not studied for the last, whatever. So, he's like, apply.
Yeah.
And I applied, I got called for the interview, I got accepted. And I had a 2-year-old daughter who I was still breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is this going to happen? Because they wanted me to kind of do the whole coursework again. That means being in classes from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. kind of a thing. But we managed, and that's what I love about Kanpur as well, right? I managed. IIT was there. It gave me so much of clarity on what I wanted to do and pursue. It was, my PhD thesis was a topic which was very close to my heart.
Yeah.
Put it out there. And while I was pursuing my PhD, I started kind of looking into my father-in-law's, investments, because he was seeming so worried about it or something like that. This was during the 2008, 2009, the whole debacle of the stock market. And then I slowly started, it just started with like kind of maintaining an Excel and kind of suggesting him here and there changes. And it's been a gradual process of 12 years of it eventually evolving into a family office.
Okay.
Yeah. And we started investing into startups as an asset class diversification. Yeah. And I fell in love with the whole thing, the ecosystem in itself. And I met founders, their energy, and somewhere, I think the childhood entrepreneurial dream, kind of, I was fulfilling it through the direct investments into startups. And that's how DBR came into picture.
Got it. But you said that you were initially handling your father-in-law's investments.
Yeah.
So was it out of the balance sheet of the company that they were
private investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Personal wealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. And then what kind of asset classes did you suggest him to invest into?
So it's everything, so today we are a well-diversified portfolio. I think for anybody who is looking to build a portfolio, needs to kind of have a good amount of diversification. So from fixed income to listed space, everything,
Right.
We didn't want, what I wanted to eventually do is not be that, not have an investment model where, different brokers or advisors come to you and say, is product mein invest kar lijiye, kal band ho raha hai. That's usually what used to happen back in the day. You need to have some thought process that, this is the money which I've allocated for 10 years. This is the money I need in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
You need to, that's what financial planning is, and that's what is important.
Understood. And then which year did you decide that let's actually set up a family office if you're making investments only out of our personal wealth?
So we actually still invest with individual names and everything. So we have now a team and a staff and all of that.
Okay.
But investments are not done through a trust, but in individual names even today. Yeah. So in terms of a family office, it's been a very, very gradual process. Where we've put in the processes of all family offices, what it's required, and what it initially started as an investment entity kind of a thing, and it's slowly evolving into all the other functions of a family office.
Okay, so what does the name DBR stand for?
DBR is actually just the angel investing entity. The family office is Mr. D.M. Gupta's family office.
Okay.
DBR is only an angel investing entity. So it's an acronym with my father-in-law's name, and my husband's name.
That's nice. Now tell me a little bit about your investment thesis as to, because you said as startups are of course a riskier asset class, what kind of founder pedigree do you look at before you, bet your money on them?
So we invest into early stage startups.
Yeah.
You know, we like to get the company young, kind of a thing, or invest into the company young. We're sector agnostic. Over time, it's been a learning journey. So what we do is we invest both as LPs as well as direct startups, like into funds as well as direct startups as well. I like to invest into startups directly only where I feel that in addition to capital, there is some sort of value add which I can bring, like, you know, whether it's in terms of my particular experiences, knowledge, or connects, or network, or something, like, you know. So over time, it has taken us, or it's taken me, like, time to realize, like, what are the kind of startups which are good for me and which are not, like, you know, which should not be directly investable. But that's our thesis, kind of invest into founders who are trying to solve a problem large enough which have a market large enough, and also founders who are able to have that conviction to kind of execute this well.
Tell me, how do you value a company if you don't have any external investors, or how do you calculate the valuation?
There are different methods of calculating. There are family businesses which are privately held, right? And they have a valuation. There are companies and methods and models to calculate valuation, whether it's in terms of your revenues or bottom line, depends upon which sector you are. Like, you know? So
got it. Understood.
Only startup valuation is an art. Otherwise, regular business valuation is pretty much a science.
Correct.
Startup valuation now, that's a whole, there's art, science, and a unicorn. So
that's true. But do you mind speaking to us about any of your recent investments you made in particular startups, and what made you convinced about putting your money there?
A bunch of startups. Some of the new ones, I think they're yet to announce. So I'm going to wait on that. Like, you know, but we invested in these two amazing women founders based out of Mumbai who do natural pet care products. It's called Papa Possum. Fantastic. Like, you know, very, very good. I'm a pet parent. I know that there is a market for this. I was struggling to find good organic shampoos and pet care products for my pet, and they're doing very, very well, like, you know.
And how did you discover them, or they discovered you? How did that happen?
I actually met them on Horses Stable. I get them this thing on Horses Stable. And then in terms of D2C, another company we invested into is Wicked Good.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay.
An investment into Wicked Good. And
what was convincing about them?
Again, I was looking out for a product like that. We actually,
like healthy noodles
and healthy pasta, and, like, you know, like, I was not eating gluten. I'm a fitness enthusiast. Like, you know, I'm always looking for more protein, and I'm always looking to give that to my kid, right? Like, whenever my daughter asks for Maggie, there's like a really, like, a bad feeling in my stomach. I'm like, oh my god, so much maida in her stomach, kind of a thing, like, you know. And so it was something which I was looking for. We did go through a batch of trials and tasting with them. I loved it. I was consuming other products in the market which were in the similar category, Pink Harvest, and stuff like that. But I did not like their taste. Like, you know, I did not like the texture. I did not like the taste. Wicked Good, I loved it. Like, you know, it's something which, like, if I could eat it every day, kind of a thing. It was that good. So, and again, fantastic team. Obviously, the product is the first point, but the team also comes in with the experience. Their execution is spot on. And again, very, very good, like, you know.
But they recently appeared in Shark Tank, and the numbers were a bit dicey, like they are more on the loss-making front. So
they are in that space where they're looking to kind of reach the market first and scale, and then kind of, you know, capture the market. The idea is, it is a market where, like, kind of you will need to burn a little to kind of reach out and spread the word, because not many people understand also that, like, you know, healthy nahi hona chahiye ki the noodles हम लोग जो खाते हैं, they are fried. I didn't know. Like, you know, I didn't know. I'm like, क्या fried होते हैं? No, we boil them. Like, you know, I'm like, they're like, no, it's fried and then, you know, dehydrated and given to you, and then you boil it. Like, I'm like, oh, like, you know, so not many people know that. So I think when you need to kind of educate the target audience, there needs to be some aspect of pushing the product on, and there will be customer acquisition cost, which is slightly higher.
Yeah. But how do you see a brand, any D2C brand like that coming on the path to profitability? Because the burn can be endless sometimes. You never know when to stop.
I think that's where the execution bit plays this thing, and having the right set of advisors also play a role. Like somebody who can keep like guiding you, like and saying, and it's not just a cycle. I can raise money and to the next stage and raise money. It's where you need to start saying that at a unit economics level, I'm positive, and how do I do this? There has to be a plan. So having the right set of advisors and investors on board also matters. Because if the investors are pushing ki tum bas next round raise kar lo, give me an exit, burn, get a high valuation, then that's not right. Like, it could be profitable for me, but maybe the company may not survive in that case.
And how did you find them? Were they also on Horses Stable?
Wicked good, I think I found through Mumbai Angels. Like,
That's
with the
nice.
network. They did come on Horses Stable, but I was already invested with them. Another company I'm invested into is called Get Basis. They're into this space of financial literacy and providing financial independence for women. Like, they have their credit card for women and like, all of that. So again, very closely resonates with what I believe in, and like, kind of pushing the idea that if women are earning, they should have the freedom to spend their money, or even if they're not earning, access to credit is so little for women. How many of us know women who carry their own credit card, not an add-on card, but a credit card in their own name? Like, like you've heard of cases where the bill is always passed to the male. If you buy a house, the bill is always made in the husband's name or the father's name in a restaurant, or you go buy a car. I mean, these are biases which are in place, and they're out there to kind of help tilt that.
That's so nice that you're supporting women with the power of capital and growth, so that they can reach the next level. But what sectors are you looking forward to invest more in the coming years?
So consumer is something which is which I like. I think India is a large market, and so much of it, I mean, it's a big enough market which domestically consumes a lot of stuff, right? So I think the consumer space is something which I'm quite excited about. Femtech is something which I'm very excited about. Like, it's again problems, startups, and not just by women founders, even male founders who are doing startups, solving women's problems, problems related to women, whether it's women's health, women's access to finance, anything, because it's an uncatered market. Even today, there's a lot of scope. We are 50% of the population, but there hasn't been a lot of disruption to our problems and needs. Like, so that's a space I'm quite excited about.
For any D2C founder, what ground rules would you suggest them to do before they launch their product or before they pitch to any investor?
I think number one thing is make sure that the product is good. Like at the end of the day, तुम चाहे कितनी भी marketing कर लोगे, like whatever you do, however you package it, you will succeed only if a customer loves your product. So at the core of it, your product needs to be solid. Like so unless you have that, please do not go out and this thing. Secondly, make sure you've done a good amount of research on your market. And research doesn't mean कि friends and family से पूछ लिया कि आपको इसकी ज़रूरत है क्या, आपको इसकी ज़रूरत है क्या. Like, you have to do some sort of a proper analysis of what the market is. A lot of D2C founders, or a lot of founders in general, do not lay emphasis on what their market is. A lot of times they have a broader idea of the bigger market, but you're not going to go to the entire market. What is that niche which will pay you? Who's your paying customer? You need to identify that. that is very important.
And you said that the team is very important in building businesses. So how do you suggest founders hiring the right set of team members and making sure that they are growth levers for the organization and take it ahead?
So obviously when you start a company, you're everything in the company, right? From the CEO to the peon, like you're doing everything, right? You're multitasking. It's very important for a founder that as they expand, the first 10 people in the company are the right hires, because these are the 10 people who will determine the culture of the company. You know, and it's very important that the culture you want your company to be, you kind of communicate that well, and they will be the culture of the company, the first 10 employees, because they're the ones who will actually be with you, hopefully the longest, right? And will pretty much be your senior level hires, right? Like, so that hiring process is very important. A lot of companies have failed because they couldn't hire at the right time. They did not hire the right people.
But tell me about the time when you were a part of Horses Table, which is a show like Shark Tank, and you've heard many pitches. So do you think the pitches there and your evaluation is a bit different than in real life? Because there you might be on a time clock and you might just have to have the conversation with 5 other people in just an hour. So tell me the difference of there and the real life.
So obviously hearing a live pitch and committing on the spot is slightly more challenging, like, you know, than the usual process which we have. We do have a, you know, like an IC, it goes through a certain amount of processes, meetings and everything before we commit to an investment. On Horses Table, this whole thing is shrunk almost into an hour and a half, where we give a commitment. Over there, it's your gut feeling, and it's entirely on the founder, right? To convince, because in such a short time, you are betting on the founder and his ability to convince you as an investor and a customer as well, right? Like, so that's the difference. But I would like to say that a lot of, even after committing on shows, an investor holds the right to do due diligence.
Correct.
You know, so it does go through a due diligence process where the numbers are seen and the financials are taken care of.
But does it also go to the IC?
To my IC?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, I mean, kind of bounce it off. It doesn't have to.
What if they say no in some cases?
You know, for them to say no after a commitment is made has to mean that some aspect of due diligence has failed, right? So if the due diligence has failed, then even I'm not going to invest, right? Like, you know, so we communicate that to the founder, that this is what we found. This is the reason why we'll not be able to come on board.
But since you talk to so many people, have you noticed any difference in the way women founders pitch at early stages?
Yes. Whether I like it or not, there is a way. I actually truly believe that, you know, women founders, and this is no offense to the male founders, I do have a lot of them in my portfolio doing fantastic work, but at a broader level, I feel women in general are more diligent, like, you know, and in the way they pitch, I think they're more careful, like, you know, they're a little bit more risk averse. So they will not openly ask for funding, like, you know, that, or not overly evaluate themselves. I think women often, maybe not now, like, you know, at least a couple of years back, women would be, if there was a male and a female founder, the male always took up the finances bit, answering about the money and everything, and the, you know, that's changing. A lot of changes are coming. So that's no longer the case, but that used to happen. I've had female founders also come and tell me, like, you know, Aarti, don't worry about the money, we will repay you. Like, that's not my worry, you grow the business. I've never had any male founder come and tell this, like, you know, but I've had female founders come in, because for them, like, you know, like, if you've trusted them, like, you know, they feel like, you know, you really need to kind of
give it back.
Like, so that aspect is different. I actually, but I think all of this is changing. Like, you know, I think investing is gender neutral for me particularly. Like, you know, obviously there is this passion to kind of support women entrepreneurs, which I do, whether with capital or through mentoring. That's just because there is so few of them.
Correct.
You know, that we need more and more of them to come into the ecosystem. That comes from that side. But when I'm investing into a company, it's gender neutral.
It should be like that. I mean, any investor, why would they want to miss out just because of
I don't think, like, you know, I don't think in general also, even whether it's a male investor or a female investor, I don't think anybody is investing with the mindset that I will not invest in women. Like, you know, but I think often there are subconscious biases which come into play. You know, and that's something which we need to keep checking. Like, you know,
like what kind of biases have you seen around you?
There's a very nice Harvard study, Radhika, which I read, and it did a whole survey and research, and it found out that male founders get asked a lot of promotion related questions. You know, and women founders get asked a lot of prevention related questions, right? Now, promotion questions are like, how do you plan to expand this product? Like, you know, or how do you plan to kind of expand into this market? And prevention questions are, how will you protect your market? You know, or how will you protect your customers? They're both asking pretty much the same thing about expansion or reach, right? But the wordings are different. And they found out that for every prevention question a founder gets asked, they raise 3.8 million less. So
my God.
Just by the very fact that women get asked more prevention questions, it shows that they are raising less funds. And we know that they're raising less funds, right? But here is a study, and these are not questions just by male investors. Even women investors ask similar promotion and prevention questions. So somewhere I think there are all these subconscious biases which we've all grown up with, which we need to kind of check. Keep a check on when we invest, you know.
Otherwise, actually one of the studies too, which we put up on our website, which says that women-led businesses actually give you more revenue and profits as compared to male-run businesses. Like female-run businesses would give you 78 cents to $1, whereas
the BCG study, right?
I read that. Male-run businesses would give you 34 cents. So I mean, what do you look at? Sustainability and profitability, or just revenues and huge burn, cash burn?
No, absolutely.
And now tell us about your journey at FICCI. How did it start? How did you get into it and then go on to become a national head for them?
So at FICCI currently I'm chairing the heading the national startup vertical within Flow, and so Flow is FICCI's ladies organization. It's a pan-India organization of 9,000 plus women entrepreneurs and business owners. It's spread across 19 cities, and it's a 39-year-old organization. Huge, admirable history of amazing women leaders at its presidency, you know, which is with a strong core to empower women, right? And at grassroots, mid-income and senior executive level. So I actually joined the Kanpur chapter when it was starting. What excited me was this organization where you are the member, you're not a spouse, right? You know, because most organizations, it's the men who are the members, and women are usually the spouses, and you know, they have all these spousal activities which happen. But at Flow, I love the fact that the members are the women, and everything is planned around them to empower them. And that's what I love the organization. I slowly started working in it, headed the Kanpur chapter. Startups has been a passion of mine, and I'm, you know, wanted to kind of, FICCI's always worked for women entrepreneurs over the last several years in different forms, and has promoted entrepreneurships through MSMEs and startups and different about 2 years back, we set up the startup vertical.
Okay.
Formally, and grateful for the opportunity to kind of be a part of the team to set it up and lead it. And today it's a platform and ecosystem to kind of help entrepreneurs. We have a mentorship vertical where we have experienced women, business owners and professionals who want to give back and handhold the new age entrepreneurs and new age women professionals.
Right.
We have a very strong pool of mentors, certified mentors, and there's an attempt to create a pool of women investors, because I feel there is a need for women to be on the other side of the table as well, right? Like, so we're trying to help them by providing training, access to deals, or just a general network to syndicate and talk to somebody who's similar to you about your investment journey, right? Like, so fantastic team, lovely set of people to work with, and whoever has led the organization at the president level have been very, very supportive of this idea.
Right.
So,
I also saw that you had interviewed Narayana, Murthy, and his wife Sudha. So how did that conversation go, and what kind of things that you learned out of it? Because it's not every day that you get a talk.
He's actually, Mr. Murthy is an IIT Kanpur alumni. So he had come for the convocation there, and we got the opportunity to host him and Sudhaji for a talk. And I was absolutely privileged to kind of have that conversation and spend about 5 hours with them. For me, it was an absolute surreal moment. I cannot kind of lay more emphasis on how magical those 5 hours were, because just they're both individually such amazing, intelligent, sharp people, but yet so humble, like, you know, and at the end of the day, I think it all comes down with how you can do what you want to do with that kind of humility and grace, like, you know. So so much to learn with them. I think my top 5 hours ever in my life, kind of a thing. Like, you know, I remember I went to they were staying at the hostel at IIT Kanpur, and Sudhaji was signing there were these piles of books, and she was signing every one of them. And I was like, Sudhaji, you're signing every one copy. And she's like, if I've taken the money, somebody's buying this and the publishers paid me the money, I have to do the work for it. Like, you know, I'm going to sign it, like, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, like, here is this iconic woman, like, you know, and she just wants to make sure that everything what she's given for is like, you know, she gives it back, kind of a thing. So it's amazing. I mean, best experience.
But whose leadership style have you been influenced by in your career?
So the different people I kind of pick up bits and pieces from, like, you know, I like, you know, from Michelle Obama to kind of you know, Sheryl Sandberg, everybody. I read a lot, and I read a lot of non-fiction. So I try and pick up, you know, little things from everybody, and kind of this thing. And even closer to home, like, you know, my mom, she's been an entrepreneur. I've seen her working. She was handling a manufacturing unit of 400 workers, like, you know, at that time. We've grown up doing homework in her boardroom, like, you know, as kids. Like, you know, and she was unapologetic about it. Like, I'm bringing my kids to work. Like, you know, whatever you want to say, you say. Like, with 3 little toddlers sitting in her boardroom and doing our homework. So, you know, there's probably not one person, but I like to pick up leadership styles from different people. I love the way Mr. Modi is laid so much emphasis on brand building, brand India. Like, you know, I think it's so important. Brand Modi, like, people often forget while building their company and their work, they forget about themselves. They don't lay emphasis, but at the end of the day, it's you who are the brand. Like, you know, everything else is secondary. So what is what are the kind of efforts you're putting in to build yourself? That is very important. So
yeah, I mean, personal branding has become more important than ever because the competition has risen so much that you need a name for yourself to grow.
100%, and you need to invest into that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just keep putting out like, you know, keep this. You need to invest into learning. You need to invest into, you know, putting yourself out there and part of conversations. And I love to take a learning break every year, kind of a thing. Like, do something, you know, or the other. Like, pick up a skill or upskill myself in some way. So you need to constantly keep investing in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that, we come to the end of the interview and we have a rapid fire round. When starting off, like, what's been one of the most proud moments for you in your life?
Oh, I think anything to do when my daughter achieves something has to be one the top proud moments of my life.
Yeah. The second question is around a challenging phase of your life where you probably had some obstacles and faced some hardships.
I think, you know, again, when my daughter was born, like, you know, especially, there was a phase where I was contemplating, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life professionally. Like, you know, so professionally challenging, that would be a phase where I was thinking whether I should not, what should I do? Maybe I should, you know, stay back at home, take care of my baby and like, you know, pursue maybe after a couple of years or like, you know, not pursue what I wanted to pursue.
Yeah, and what would have been an alternative career option for you, if not for finance?
I don't know, didn't think about it. Politics, maybe.
Oh, wow, you are interested there.
I love politics.
Very nice. Hopefully, you will be like Smriti Irani. I mean, doing something now and maybe later on you might fulfill your wish of becoming
Let's say we do need good people in politics.
Yeah, good women leaders
good
also.
Women leaders. Like, we need good women leaders everywhere.
Yeah. And what's that one mentorship lesson that you might have learned from any one of your mentors or a leader whom you have looked up to?
I think believing in yourself, and I know it sounds cliche, but like a lot of us women keep kind of sabotaging ourselves.
Yeah.
We keep sabotaging ourselves with this whole guilt, like, you know, maybe not. And a lot of this story is an internal conversation.
Yeah.
So having the right internal conversation is very, very important.
Yeah.
And I've learned that with some of my mentors and coaches I've had.
Lastly, what was the last thing that you did for the first time in your life?
I just did yesterday I did a chakrasan walk.
Oh, walk!
Yeah, like you're doing like a chakrasan, but you're walking in it.
Yeah.
So I did that. So
wow. But on that note, we come to the end, and I really thank you for sharing all your insights, right from what you look at founders to what you look at in your investment portfolio and how you view life. So it was a thrill to hear about all those experiences.
Wonderful, wonderful chatting with you, Radhika. It's been an absolute delight.